Hey there guys, this is Malorian and this will be a Warmachine 101. It will actually be the first of my new way of doing this video. In the past I've been trying to break down how rules work and stuff like that, but you know what? I thought it'd be a lot better to do things like this, where I just put down a situation, because that's the heart of Warmachine, where there's lots of different choices, and it's really a question of which path do you want to go and trying to weigh all the different options. So luckily, Marth from Marth and the Machines just put out a video today that was perfect for this scenario. He has here a 30-point battle, and he actually stops the report here and says, hey, which way would you go for this? Would you go for assassination or a scenario? What would you do? And then actually it kind of like links off to two separate videos depending on which path you pick. So very interesting, and I thought, you know what, this is a great time to start this. So here's the situation, guys. The game is incursion, so we got the 3 flags. There's another one off to the right that we can't really see right now, but we'll see it later in a second. On the left side, now, he does say that the choices here aren't exactly perfect because they're going for full painted. But for left to right, for the Khador at the bottom, there's going to be a Marauder, there's going to be a Spriggan, then there's going to be a Harkovic, then there's going to be the Kodiak, then a Devastator up there, and on the far right, you can't see it, but there's a War Dog. On the top, there's a mercenary army that's led by Gordon, and left to right there, we're going to have a, I can't remember if it's a Sprague Bunny or a Gun Bunny, but it's one of those things. Then a Rock Ram, another Spray or Gun Bunny. Then there's going to be Ogren Bokur. Then you can see there's Gordon. Then there's a Tactical Arcanist Corps, a Driller, and a Basher. Now, to kind of set the stage for where we're at in this situation, is that this is now, I believe, on to turn 3. Harkovic had already popped his feet, so that's all gone. Gordon had already popped his feet, so that's gone. And now Khador had just gone and advanced the best they could after Gordon did his feat. So, you know, you can't run. Okay, you can run, but you're slowed down, so you can't charge or anything. But this is the situation. The control points is currently 1 for the mercenaries. That is scored by a Gun Bunny on the left. Looking for damage, really the only damage that really matters is on the Gun Bunny that's on the flag. It is fairly damaged, so, you know, that's something to keep in mind. Harkovic is actually on fire and has already lost 4 points, and I believe at this point he's camping 3, it looks like. Now, before we get too much farther, I want to show you the situation on the right side. So this is the situation over here where I said there was also the War Dog, and so this is the flag on this side here, and so the War Dog is a very interesting piece for contesting because it does countercharge. So if you try and come over and shoot it or something where you're not going to be engaging it, it's going to countercharge, and then after that it has a thing called return where it gets to move again, and it can kind of dance around and really contest. Of course, this little forest here is going to cause issues as well with, I mean, hey, that Bash would love to just get in there and slam that dog and kill it, but yeah, there's that forest in the way. So anyway, with that in mind, we're going to be looking at this now and saying, okay, as the Gordon player, what would you do? Would you go for scenario? Would you go for assassination? What would it be? Well, my first thing here is to say, all right, I'm a scenario player, so we're going to look at scenario first. Now, we know that the dwarf player, the mercenary player, scored on their turn. So if they didn't score on this turn, that means that the Marauder on the left is contesting. It's within 4 inches, and so that's why we didn't score a 2nd point already. If we look at the middle flag, it's really hard to tell if anything's actually contesting that. The Devastator on the right might be within 4 inches. If he is, it's going to be close. The Spriggan might be within 4 inches. If he is, it's close. And then, of course, the War Dog is contesting on the right. So, looking at this, if we're going for a scenario, we have to remember that the right flag is almost a lost cause. We don't have a lot of range over here. I mean, we could go over with the actual Basher here and do a flak field and hope to try and kill him that way, but really if we do that, he can countercharge, he can dance around, and it's going to be very hard to actually get that to work. So the right flag doesn't seem very possible. Well, how could we score on the left flag? Well, a very easy one here could just be to slam that target away. We can't very easily kill that model, but we can slam it. So if we were to put, Gordon has 4 or 5 focus. So if he puts 1 on the Rock Ram, the Rock Ram can charge the Marauder. Now this is a thing where we don't have the measurements, we can't exactly see, However, we know that at speed 4, he can slam 7 inches and also has another half inch. So, 7.5 inches. And if we assume that the distance from the Marauder to the flag is 4 inches, well, you know what? That edge to the rock ram is definitely less than 3.5. So that could be one right there. The rock ram could do a slam. If you really want to boost, I mean, the Kador defense is not really that high, so you can always add another one if you want to boost to hit, but basically he goes over, slams away the Marauder, and that's going to allow your Gun Bunny to score another one, which would be putting you then at a pretty nice 2 points. Alright, that's pretty good. Well, what can we do for the middle one? Well, for the middle one, we're going to assume that the Spriggan and the Destroyer there are going to be contesting. So we're going to have to deal with both of these. And I mean, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe it's actually just one. Maybe it's neither. But for this situation where we don't know, we're just going to kind of assume. Now, I think one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to move that Basher away. And we're going to allow him to take a free strike. And the reason why we're allowing the Destroyer to take a free strike is because if he actually does, he opens up and we can destroy him with that Driller. So with that, I think we want to allocate 3 to the Driller. So we'll put 3 to the Driller. That's great. We can only say that we allocate another 2 to the Rock Ram in order to do its boosted slam. So that's great. That's all of our focus. The Basher is going to be moving out of the way and going back saying, hey, if you want to do a free strike, go ahead, because then my Driller is going to kick your ass. It's probably not going to. And so with that, then the Basher can move back, and the whole point and reason of that is that we want him to be in a spot where he can slam later to try and score another point. Now, at this point, you might be saying, like, well, why don't we just destroy the Destroyer? It's right there. We have Strength of Granite. We get +4. Well, the thing is that even with 3 focus and +4 strength on the Driller, we still, on average, can't destroy that Destroyer. So we can't really go for that. However, once the Basher is moved out of the way, the Driller can move more to the left and then do a power attack push. And that power attack push will be easy to hit. We'll have a little bit of strength to be going on, but hey, that one should be okay. I mean, if you are worried about it, we could do some Strength of Granite. We could leave 2 on Gordon. He could be doing Strength of Granite, just leaving 1 there. That's... Yeah, we could do that. I mean, again, we're going to make sure he doesn't want to do a free strike. But either way, we could do that, push him away. That's great. That's a contesting model out of the way. Next, we can go with the Ogryn Bokur. And one of the great things about the Ogryn Bokur is that it can do a slam. So it's going to go and it's going to do a slam to the Spriggan. Now, when you do a slam to something bigger than you, it's harder to hit. But again, we're trying to hit a Kador Jack. You're also going to be, Mat 9? Because you're probably still going to be within range of your, client and all that stuff. And then even though he gets slammed just half the distance away, we don't need to go that far, right? Looking at this, we're assuming that it's just within 4 or something like that. So if we just slam it back 1 inch again, we're fine. So that's great. Now, with that in mind, we have those jacks pushed away, but we also want to keep everything else also away. And we also need to put something on that middle flag. Well, what we could put on that middle flag is we could be putting the Good Gun Buddy. Now, that one's a little bit far, so if we want to do that, we have to allocate a focus. So again, we have focus issues here. If we want to, we could say, okay, let's put 2 on Gorton. We're going to put 1 onto the right jack, 1 onto the rock ram, and then 1 onto that gun bunny so it can run to the flag. And while it's running to the flag, those tactical Arcanist Corps are just going to be running up just to get in the way of everything else. They want to try and keep things away from the flag. So let's assume this all worked. Maybe, while Gordon did this, he took a shot and something like that, but hooray, that's really it. Well, at this point here then, what's going to happen is we're going to be scoring 2 more points, and it's now going to be 3-0. And he's going to have a Marauder slammed over here and all this stuff, and then he gets to kind of come back. And there really is a lot of stuff he could be doing, but really what's probably going to happen is that he's going to get into our face, and it's going to be very hard. I mean, maybe he won't be able to get to the left flag with the Marauder. It all kind of depends. I think he's going to be outside of range of Harkovich. Harkovich has a spell that lets you get up, so that could kind of get around things. If we're knocked down, it's probably going to walk back in to contest again. And basically, what I'm trying to get to here is that with 4 jacks coming in and doing whatever damage they're going to do on this following turn, I am not confident that we can get those last 2 points. That just doesn't feel like something that's possible, or maybe it's possible, but it's going to be a little bit touchy whether you can actually do that or not. And then past that, we had to really try to push that focus to make things work. If one thing doesn't work, we're screwed. So, okay, I think scenario, we can just scrap right off. And we'll say, you know what, scenario is not the way to go. We're going to go for assassination. So looking at the assassination, we have Harkovich there, who's on fire, who's camping, and we want this guy dead. Well, one of the things we're going to probably want to do first is knock this guy down. And luckily, we have some slams and jacks that can actually do this. So looking at this here, we have to kind of make some choices of what we want to do with focus and all the rest of it. Again, if we look at the right there, I think the driller won't be any help with the assassination. The basher won't be any help, so we don't want to really look at that. The damaged gun bunny, we're going to assume that it's damaged, so it's not going to really do anything. And then that really leaves us with the other gunner spray bunny, the rock ram, you have your tactical arcanist core, and then you also have buddies like your slam guy there, your Ogren Bokur. And I think that's going to be a big part of how we're actually going to be finishing this. So looking at this, we can do a slam. We can go with the Ogren Bokur and we can do a slam, but you know what's a lot easier is when you actually do a slam something into him. So we have a couple of options of what we could actually slam into him here, but we really want to make it so that we're not wasting activations. If the left gun bunny still had its movement, still had its cortex, maybe it could run over and get to a spot where it could be slammed, but we can't assume that that's like that, and it's also kind of far out. So I don't think that's really the way we want to go with this. All right, so we'll take that out. Well, what we're going to do then is I think we need to allocate one focus to the spray gun bunny, the one that we don't know what it is. We are also going to be allocating one to the rock ram because we want it to boost. We're going to be going first with the little gun bunny, and it's going to be running over to Harkovich. Next, we are going to be going with the Ogren Bokur and doing a slam to the back of the bunny. The back of the bunny is really easy to hit, really low defense, so not too much problems there. It should be very easy to get the slam distance to get it into Harkovich, and then all of a sudden he's knocked down and taking some more damage. And that's great. The biggest thing is he's knocked down. Once he's knocked down, now we can start hitting him with all the other stuff. He's a very easy target so that the tactical arcanist core, they can all shoot and they can be feeling pretty happy and being able to hit. We can go with the rock ram. It can come over and it can shoot and boost its damage, do some really good damage there. And more so, we also have Gordon who can go up here. He sells plain focus. He can boost his shot, and he has a really strong gun. So I believe through all of that, that stands a very good chance of, if you're not going to actually kill him at this point, having him so damaged that he's going to die to fire. And yeah, I think that's your best way of doing it. So either way, I'm going to put down a link to the video down below. So if you want to see how this did go, hey, go check it out, see what happened. Please post down below how you would do it, and if you agree with what I said. So thanks for watching. Bye.